Kani kadiga bati CTV, mat pidang pek yaki kubor baman kasni, belawan rasha pida ka Orange Nissan loom sopo near Fire Brigade Shillong, ringkat bat ka eco-friendly enterprise, ki plakot nagbenta ki jingdon kam hakasong, bat kara karong.
Banyatai halor ke jinglong jingman ki bendi ki badan hakani ke jela Meghalaya, haka arpo artrek mentau naitung arhajar arpo. Ka Meghalaya State Legal Services Authority, kalapelong ya kerensan yemir, lengba ki kor ki bor kani ke jogmenta, da ka ba penankam, da ka internet, bat perlong da ka video conference. Hakani jingita lai shimenta da baro ki jail superintendent jong ki ying bendi na keleng ke district jong ke jela, bat ki nunyalam jong ki district legal services authority. Bat ya kebenta jong ke jinga selok, bat kini ki bakmi ya ki ying bendi hakeleng ke jela la pendam da member secretary jong ka Meghalaya State Legal Services Authority, Unur Ain Khan.
So we are holding this review meeting of the prisons in the state of Meghalaya to take stock of the conditions of the inmate in the prisons and further to see the implementation of the resolution of the High Power Committee which was constituted pursuant to the order of the Honorable Supreme Court. The Honorable Supreme Court was pleased to direct constitution of the High Power Committee in all the states and union territories for the purpose of decongesting the jail. Now, as per the prison population report, we find that the district jail in Shillong has total 170 inmates and district jail Joy 130, district jail William Nagar 50, district jail Nongpo 100. We find that only the district jail Shillong, where the inmates are more than the capacity. We have two important things which needs to be reviewed and looked into. One is the preventive steps which has been taken by the jail authority, and also we want to know if there is any reported case of COVID-19 in the jail and what are the preventive steps that has been taken by the jail authority. The Honorable Supreme Court had made it very clear in its order dated 23/10/2020 that the inmates should not be physically produced in the court. So they should be produced through video conferencing. And then effort should be made to see that the jail which is overcrowded, to decongest it. And the High Power Committee has classified the kinds of cases where the jails can be decongested by releasing them on bail, interim bail. In cases of convict, those convicts can also be released on parole. So we worked out on the criteria, and this was a resolution dated 31/3/2020. And the purpose of this meeting is to see that how far we have been able to act upon the resolution, and we also want to clarify that the purpose of this committee or the resolution is nothing of that sort that is mandatory for the prisoners to be released. There are criteria worked out. There are some habitual offenders. For those, exception has been carved out. The parameters for decongesting the jail has been laid out in the resolution of the High Power Committee. In cases where the accused persons who have been charged for an offence which is punishable up to 7 years, those cases the prisoners can be considered for interim bail or bail. But in heinous offence, no. There is no scope for releasing those people on heinous offence. And Honorable Supreme Court has also made it very clear that the Honorable Supreme Court has not directed that it is mandatory for the accused persons to be released on bail. And this clarification came from the Honorable Supreme Court in the context of the state of Bihar. In the state of Bihar, no prisoners were released. So the Supreme Court said it's the discretion of the high power, the courts, whether the prisoners to be released or not. But the primary objective is to see is that the overcrowded prisons are decongested in the wake of this COVID-19. So we are trying to review the conditions of the inmates in the jail. We will also take in any suggestions which comes forward or any other preventive steps is to be taken. As per the newspaper reporting, there were some complaints about the jail conditions in the state of Assam. And that is what I have gathered from the newspaper reporting, is that the matter was taken up by the Human Rights Commission in the state of Assam for the jail conditions in the state of Assam. So far as Meghalaya is concerned, the jail population report reveals that the jails in districts like Williamnagar, Nongpo, it is within the limits. It is not overcrowded. And pursuant to the High Power Committee's resolutions, the District Legal Service Authorities have taken action, and till date they have released almost 300 prisoners. And after we review the conditions of the prison and jail, and probably we will be having a meeting of the High Power Committee, and all the reports will be placed before the High Power Committee, and then appropriate decisions will be taken. If required for further decongestion of any prison which is overcrowded, steps will be taken, necessary directions will be issued. These prisoners who have been released, they have been released on bail. So it is not to be understood that they have been let off. They have been charged of certain offence, they have to stand for trial. As I said earlier, the purpose of releasing these prisoners is to decongest the jail in the wake of this COVID-19. Because as you know, jails which are overcrowded may also pose a threat of spread of this COVID. Well, females are very few. Most of them, they are male, and they are involved in offence where the punishment can extend up to 7 years. As per the information furnished by the prison department, the jail population as on 30/6/2020, we find the UTPs in connection with the NDPS cases, there are 103 in the entire state, and for other offence the UTPs are 580. Convicts of rigorous imprisonment, they are 137. Simple imprisonment, 26. Capacity of Shillong jail is 170, and as on date we have 287, out of which 273 is female, 273 are males, and 14 females. And the most important thing here is that 158 are UTPs, and 4 are females, 158 are males. Here, you have to understand that people who are in jail, they are not all convicts. People have an impression that when a person is in jail, he is serving sentence, he has been punished. But no, when we say UTP, means prisoners who are undergoing trial. They are not convicts. Cases are going on. So, in District Jail Shillong, we have 29 convicts who have been convicted for rigorous imprisonment, out of which 1 is female and 29 male. Simple imprisonment, we have 13. So these are the people, they are convicts. They are serving sentence. But 158, they are not convicts. 162, including females, they are not convicts. They are UTPs. And one thing very important here is that we have to understand, that's why we are reviewing also. The convicts are serving sentence. UTP, again you find UTPs are of two kinds. There are one UTP who are in jail pending investigation. The matter is being investigated. They are in jail because the matter is under investigation. The other UTPs are those prisoners who are standing for trial. Though we use the terminology UTP for both people who are incarcerated, pending investigation and pending trial. Trial means cases where the charge sheet has been filed and they have to stand for trial. But in cases where where a person is accused of an offence, the matter has been investigated, they are also in jail. But they have a right, where the offence charge, where the punishment can extend up to 10 years, And if the charge sheet is not filed within 60 days, they are entitled to be released on bail. Those pending investigation. And in heinous offense of like murder, if they are incarcerated, they are in prison pending investigation and no charge sheet has been filed for 90 days, they are entitled to be released on bail. They just cannot be kept. So that is why we also need to look into it. Those prisoners, those accused persons who are in jail and no charge sheet has been filed within the statutory period, they are entitled to be released on bail. So we will also instruct the District Legal Service Authority, if such cases comes in or it is brought to the notice, then if there might be some people very poor, even to move bail, somebody has to move to the court. So that is where we might just engage some legal aid counsels and then move to the court for them to be released on bail. They have to be released on bail. It is their right if their charge sheet is not been filed within the statutory period. So any detention of these people after the period of the statutory, after this expiry of the statutory period, it will be violation of their right under Article 21 of the Constitution of India. Means the liberty has been curtailed in violation of the procedure prescribed by law. The law empowers the detaining authorities to detain them up to 60 days in cases where the punishment is up to 10 years, 90 days in cases where the punishment can extend up to death sentence of life imprisonment. But this is only for those cases where charge sheet has not been filed, pending investigation. This UTRC, Under Trial Review Committee, in every district, headed by district judge. Now this Under Trial Review Committee, it reviews the conditions of it reviews the under trials. Now we have under section 436A. There might be cases where an accused person is in jail pending trial. He might be in jail for maybe 2 years and the punishment is 2 years. So section 436A says that even for under trial prisoners, if they have been detained for more than half of the sentence prescribed for the punishment, they are entitled to be released. Even if the trial is not concluded, whatever may be the stage of the trial. But if they have been in jail for half the sentence, then they are entitled to be released on bail. And that is why the Under Trial Review Committee, it keeps on reviewing and to identify any prisoners who has acquired the right to be released on bail, either on default or they have served half the sentence. We can't say they have served half the sentence or they have been in jail for half the sentence if they are found guilty, because they are under trial. And if they are found guilty, they will be sentenced. If the maximum sentence, for instance, if the maximum sentence is 5 years, a person is there pending trial for 3 years, trial is not concluded, and then in that case he is entitled to be released on bail. He has served half the sentence. But it doesn't mean that he has been absolved from the liability, criminal liability. He has to appear before the court and stand for trial. He will be out of jail, who has a right to be released on bail, but he does not have the means to exhaust those rights, to seek those remedy. And that is where we step in. We say that, look here, we will provide you a lawyer, and these lawyers will move an application for you in the court and see that you are released on bail. And even in cases of trial, we provide them legal aid counsel. They conduct free of cost. We pay the lawyers for that, and they conduct their trial. Otherwise, what will happen? The very word access to justice means what? Everybody should have an access to justice. Everybody should have access to justice. Means everybody should have a level ground to play. You can see if a person has got enough money, a wealthy person can engage one of the finest lawyers, and he can present his case in the best possible way. What happens to a person who does not have a means? A person who comes from a marginalized section of the society. They might be having a right, they may have a lot of things to say, they may be innocent, but who will speak for them? They need to engage a lawyer, isn't it? Now they don't have the means to engage the lawyer. Now can we say that just because a person does not have money or he is poor, he'll be deprived of justice? And if you don't bridge up this gap, And if we don't step in and provide counsels, legal aid counsels to them, then they'll be denied of justice. Why? Because they are poor. They will not have an access to a lot of government machineries because they can't. They may be poor, they may be unaware. So how can we say that there is a level ground? So that is why we say that our effort is basically to provide a legal aid counsel, sensitize people, make them aware of their rights, and in cases where we find large number of people who are affected, we take it up. We take up the cause.